Iar în continuare vorbim despre Rusia. La câteva zile după ce Rusia a invadat Ucraina, peste 1000 de companii s-au angajat să nu mai facă afaceri în Rusia, dar acest lucru nu s-a și întâmplat practic. Multinaționalele insistă că le pasă cu adevărat de cauza ucraineană, dar că stoparea afacerilor în Rusia este ceva mai complicat. Colegii de la CNN analizează câteva dintre companiile care și-au încălcat acest angajament.
When Russia marched into Ukraine, hundreds of companies from other nations announced plans to march out of Moscow, hitting Vladimir Putin's government in the pocketbook and hobbling his war effort. But 1 year, 4.5 months after the invasion, some others are still doing brisk business in Russia, according to Yale professor Jeffrey Sonnenfeld.
These are companies that said they were leaving and then reneged, saying, it's too much trouble. It's wartime profiteering. And it is actually aiding, sadly, helping to fuel Putin's war machine.
His research finds although many companies followed through on their pledges, taking millions of dollars out of Russia, some big players did not. Among them, Heineken. Sonnenfeld's researchers say the Dutch company has 7 facilities in Russia, 1,800 employees, and is still launching new brands there. Heineken calls the war a terrible human tragedy and says the company remains committed to leaving, but so far has not secured Russian regulatory approval to sell its assets. Also on the list, Mondelez, the company that makes Oreos, among other things. With 3,000 employees and products still moving in Russian markets, the company is being boycotted by some Europeans, even as it said in a statement last month it is scaling back in Russia. And there are more. Unilever has called the war brutal and senseless. Philip Morris has said the situation is complex. Nestle last year pledged to sell only essential items, but Yale researchers say non-essential items are still being sold. And all of those companies continue doing business with the Russians. Many suggest divesting themselves from Russia is more costly and complicated than outsiders might imagine, and they don't want to hurt their Russian employees. Sonnenfeld's response?
The whole point of the sanctions and the business exits is to put pressure on the average Russian so that the humanitarian thing is to motivate them to act.